It's not every morning you get to head off to a beer brewery, but this was a special day. Just out of Blenheim and nestled in the vines is the Moa Beer headquarters. It's named after an extinct native flightless bird found in the area 600 years ago. I was meeting up with Josh Scott, formerly a top winemaker for the family business, Allen Scott Wines. He's the man who started the dream right here in Marlborough. So, Josh, tell me which beer we're going to start with today.
We're going to start with the Moa Original. This is the first beer that we produced in 2003. It's a German-style Pilsner. It's quite hoppy, quite malty. There's a little bit of spice in it as well, but it's a good expression of New Zealand B-Stars hop.
Yeah, I definitely see the pale ale components that are in it, but it has a bit of a smoother, less bitter taste to it.
Yep. So the next one is the Blanc, and this is completely different. As you may know, most beers are made from barley malt. This is made from wheat malt, and you get more sort of cereal and grainy characters. And then the other interesting thing is we ferment it with a wine yeast, a Sauvignon Blanc, and because it attenuates really well, which makes it nice and clear, and it also gives it some sort of citric or acidic type characters, which makes it really great for food.
Moa have many specialty beers. Everything from a Pilsner style, a dark beer, a white beer, wheat beer, and Belgian Abbey style bottled brewed beers. I was in beer heaven and didn't know that there were so many varieties. Josh's background in wine was evident, with many of the same techniques used in winemaking flowing into his brewing. After a quick tour of the premises, we were off to the Queen Charlotte Sounds, a place legendary in these parts, and a place Josh's family holds dear. So, Josh, tell me how Moa came about.
Moa came about from working in California at Sainsbury Wine. They had a philosophy to make excellence, you had to be surrounded by excellence. So, and that went from everything we did in the winery to everything we ate and we drank, and they only let us drink craft beer. And I was introduced to Sierra Nevada Pale Ale at that stage. Used to drink a lot of that. And then I went to France, worked over there for 2 years in the winemaking, and again I got introduced to more craft beers. And so when I came back home to New Zealand, there was nothing really on the market, so I endeavoured to make a product myself, and that's where I came up with my first beer, Moa Original, and everything sort of ballooned from there, I guess. Our philosophy as a winemaker, always go half and half on a bit. It's a winemaker's spin on a beer, and I really like using a lot of winemaking techniques, what I've learned in the wine industry in France and in the US and even at home from Dad. And using Pinot Noir barrels for the stout was quite unique, quite different. As far as I know, we're the only people in the world actually doing that. I wanted a new challenge and something different and exciting, and I wanted to be at the forefront of the craft brewing industry in New Zealand and really sort of stake my mark in the sand or on the ground as being a leader in craft beer in New Zealand, and probably and my next aim is really to get out to the world, get out to the rest of the world, especially the States, and show what we can do with craft beer here in New Zealand. For too long, beer's sort of been the poor cousin of wine, and I'd love to see it up and respected. I mean, one thing that really frustrates me is when I go to really good restaurants, they have a fantastic, food, fantastic wine list, but the beer list is average crap. It's full of just two breweries, and I really want to see that change where I go in there and see a beer list with 5 or 6 different craft beers, and give consumers a choice on to have good products with their meal instead of just the two mainstream breweries in New Zealand.
Josh was truly passionate about his beers. Now, I've done many a food and wine match, but never a beer and food one. The combinations were amazing, and you can really pick up the intricacies of the dish and beer.
The spiciness of the beef and the tang of the dressing matches really well with the hoppiness of the beer, the really, really powerful hops.
It goes sour, and then that turns sweet for you a little bit for me.
Yep, definitely.
What a magnificent setting with a great host, not to mention the tasty beers. Geez, my job is tough.